Welcome back. We have got some breaking news from Manchester United. It is a busy night here on Sports Centre because now let's get to some breaking news from Manchester United. Now the club has confirmed that Ruben left the club following his spell as interim manager. Now Sani Rudvajala is at Carrington for us now. Good to see you, Sani. So look, of course, it was his last game in charge, wasn't it, yesterday? Ruben Amorim has gone. He's made his mark, hasn't he? What more can you tell us?
Has left Manchester United. He was at Carrington this morning and left fairly early, and that was the first indicator that we had that something could be happening. Of course, when I say first indicator, there are a couple more as well. We saw his kind of emotional scenes.
We'll be leaving Manchester United with immediate effect. We have some more breaking news from Old Trafford. Straight to our city editor, Mark Kleinman, who's outside the club. Well, it all seems to be happening there tonight. Mark, what have you got?
That's right, Dermot. A day of big news departures from Old Trafford. Exit from the club confirmed a couple of hours ago. What I can reveal tonight is that an even more significant development is on the horizon, and that's
significant breaking news. It comes from Manchester United, and for us it comes from Dharmesh.
Yes, if you're a Manchester United fan, it was news that we were predicting would happen last week, and it has happened. And that
I cannot believe how bad they've been and how stubborn he has been as a manager. Like, I get it. At Sporting, he done really well. He played a system. He had the players that worked. But, you come into Man United, you come into the Premier League, it is a completely different ball game. And I just think he's out of his depth. He is out of his depth. It was too big of a step for him. It's too big of a job. And he's crumbled. And, when I watch him, the formation, I just don't get it. He hasn't got it for that. The players, the midfield, he got no legs. You're trying to play Bruno in there, it don't work. But just the way he is as a manager as well is so emotional. He can't watch penalties. He sits in the dugout, he hides, he stands on the side of the pitch, and I'm not convinced that he really knows what he's doing. It's been such a poor appointment for Man United, and the quicker they get rid of him, the quicker they're going to get better, because I don't actually believe that Man United are that bad. I think they've got some good players, but the formation they're playing does not suit any of the players that want to play in that formation.
Our poll today on the Sky Sports.
I can never understand this one, because obviously, a manager wants to play the players that he thinks, are the correct to go out there and win the game. Obviously, some United fans have even said, if you bring on an academy product, Old Trafford lights up. So, I mean, how do you feel Amorim has been with the treatment of Kobbie Mainoo?
Well, there's a lot of talk around Kobbie Mainoo, and he broke onto the scene. I mean, he was in England. We're all talking about he's the future of Manchester United, still only 20 years of age. And his game time has been few and far between this season. You even see him, make changes. He makes a lot of changes, Ruben Amorim. A lot of defensive changes. I mean, last night he brings Mason Mount on. He's got to try and go and win the game. Yeah. They have a chance to climb up the table and be right in the mix, and they just keep missing this opportunity. The league is wide open, and he's always going to get asked about academy players, because we go back to the class of '92. Manchester United's history bringing academy players through is remarkable. And when you've got a player of Kobbie's quality and he's not being given an opportunity, I look at the middle of the park with Bruno and Casemiro. I mean, it was 2 years ago, everyone was saying Casemiro's legs have gone, all these kind of things. And Kobbie's just not getting enough game time for me. He's a special young talent, and he has to be given more opportunities. But I think when Ruben Amorim gets asked there talking about academy players, he must be seeing something. He must be going, look, I'm not just not playing Kobbie Mainoo because he's an academy graduate. Yeah. He's playing who he thinks can play the best. Surely, as a manager, put the players that you can think they'll get best results. No.
Yeah, but I was at the game and I watched the game, And Casemiro, he's playing Casemiro. There's a reason why he's playing him, because he keeps his game tight. That's why it becomes less running-wise for him. And Fernandes is the creativity around him. Yeah. Mainoo, if he plays him, look. If you keep a player on the bench and he's that young, he's never going to get better. Because that's his, we all been there, right? It wasn't like a coach looked at us. My coach at that time was Van Gaal. He didn't look at me and say like, oh, you're 19, no, play. And we had also stars in our team. This kid wants to play. And if you don't want to play him, find a solution for him. Yeah. Because now you have a team. It's not like he cannot get in that team or he's not good enough to play in that team, right? Because you're watching someone, like you said, we were talking about him. Look what he was doing and opening up. And everybody was watching him. And now you want to tell me that quickly he became that bad that he cannot make it in your team anymore?
Yeah.
Come on, guys. This is also the way you play, the system you play. If you looked at yesterday, Diallo was the only one that was dangerous. The opposite side, they had no one attacking.
Yeah.
He was the future of Manchester United. You look when they won the FA Cup.
He's unplayable.
He was unplayable.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now we're looking, we're fast forward and going, this is where he should now be.
Yeah.
On the up, still keep going. And we're just, unfortunately for him, he's not getting any game time.
Manchester United have plunged into yet another storm of uncertainty after parting ways with manager Ruben Amorim in what many are calling the most stunning managerial shake-up of the season. The decision, delivered abruptly and without public warning, has rippled across the football world, leaving supporters, pundits, and even players scrambling to make sense of the club's latest dramatic turn. Amorim, who arrived with a reputation as one of Europe's most progressive coaches, now exits amid escalating internal pressure, fluctuating performances, and whispers of growing tension behind the scenes. Sources close to the club suggest the board felt the team's trajectory had stalled too severely to justify continued patience, prompting an urgent intervention designed to reset momentum before the season slips further out of control. United's inconsistency on the pitch has been a puzzle to fans and analysts alike. Brief flashes of brilliance were often overshadowed by lapses in structure, costly errors, and an inability to convert dominance into results. The board, already under heavy criticism for repeated managerial cycles, appears to have moved swiftly this time in an attempt to prevent another prolonged decline. Supporters reacted with a mix of shock, anger, and resignation. Many believed Amorim needed more time to impose his philosophy, while others felt the club had drifted dangerously and that change was inevitable. What is clear, however, is that United have entered yet another period of emergency reconstruction, one that comes with enormous pressure and little margin for error. Attention now shifts to the future. The search for Amorim's successor is expected to begin immediately, with several high-profile names already being whispered in early reports. The club faces a critical stretch of fixtures in the days ahead, making swift leadership essential to stabilizing the squad and preventing further turmoil. Inside the dressing room, reports point to mixed emotions. Some players were stunned by the sudden announcement, while others reportedly sensed a shift coming after weeks of tension and uneven form. Regardless, United's next appointment will be pivotal not only for results, but for restoring trust and unity within a team that has endured yet another seismic jolt. As developments continue to unfold, Manchester United once again stand at a crossroads. The departure of Ruben Amorim marks the end of a turbulent chapter, and the beginning of an uncertain but decisive new one.